us. Let me now open this up to our guests because couple of things, like I said, are worrisome. One, this comes about a month or so before that big G20 meeting in Srinagar. So was this attempt by the terrorists to try and send out some kind of chilling effect ahead of that meeting? And secondly, we have to ask this question. I mean, there were certain protocols, SOPs that were revised and put in place after Pulwama. Were those followed? If they were not followed, why? Let me bring in our guests who are joining us. SP Vaid is former DGP of Jammu and Kashmir, Lieutenant General retired KJ Singh, former GOC&C of the Western Command, Major General retired Sanjay Soy, defense expert, and retired Major General KK Sinha, defense analyst, all of whom have, by the way, served in Kashmir at different points of time in their career. But Vaid Saab, let me start with you first. Again, just paint this area for our viewers, because we know that a similar attack happened in October 2021. A similar modus operandi where terrorists lay an ambush from inside the forest, attack an army convoy or a paramilitary convoy, and then quickly once again disappear back into the forest in a way that it becomes very difficult for the security forces to trace them down. Are you seeing a similar playbook in today's attack as well?
Zaka, something almost similar, because see, if you recall, even that group was had infiltrated, done its job, and inflicted casualties. And after that, we couldn't lay hand on that group. And we suffered about 9 casualties, if I recall correctly. See, this area is thickly forested. You have terrain is very, very difficult. And today I'm speaking from Jammu. The weather is very, very bad today. It's all raining and cloudy, and is drizzling as well. And Punch, being hilly area, must be even worse than what I see from here. So weather is very bad. Otherwise, this area, is a very apt place for an ambush like this. And initially, when truck caught fire, people thought it is something as like it's actually Bijli Gadak Rahi. People thought probably Bijli Giri. And later on, it was realized that it was an ambush, because when grenade is lobbed, and if a splinter of the grenade hits the fuel tank, it catches fire.
Correct.
And that is what has happened, and bullet injuries also are there. And I think driver was hit, targeted first, and that is generally the well-planned ambush which is done. Because if you are able to neutralize the driver, the vehicle will lose its control, and that the others will not be able to retaliate. So that is what has happened.
I believe, and Arunima was sort of reporting about this earlier as well, that the attack happened from 3 different sides: from the driver's side, from the front of the vehicle, and also from the back. So it clearly shows that this was an orchestrated attack involving more than 2 or 3 persons. Let me ask Lieutenant General KJ Singh, the critical thing that everyone is asking is this in any way timed to or related to the G20 meeting that's coming up in Srinagar next month? And if it is, then how should India respond?
Zaka, Jai Hind. It is definitely related to that. There was some kind of meeting also which had taken place. We are told MHA had held a meeting, and a warning was put out that there would be there is a possibility of such kind of incidents taking place. So definitely linked with the oncoming G20 meeting between 22nd and 24th May at Srinagar. Any mischievous element would like to derail such a meeting, which has a salutary effect of conveying normalcy in Valley. Now, how should we respond? This question is, first is immediate response is medical care of the 6th person who's injured. There is a search operation going on. There is combing going on. There would be intelligence operation going on to check out where these people are. So one thing is to comb that area, firstly, and localize those people and then deal with them.
Mhm.
Now, this is difficult because, see, it has been said by DGP Vaid and others 10 kilometers from LOC, heavily forested, cave area. This area is called Narkhas, Bimbar Gully. So, hilly and raining,
All right.
bad visibility. All factors are against people who are operating there. But I wish them luck. They are resolute people, they have resilience. I hope they, because we have not been able to get hold of the group which operated in October 21 and also the group which operated in January this year, which carried out attack in Dangri village in Rajouri.
Yeah.
So we have to get hold of this group. And there is a canard being put out that this is a new group, PAFF. They have taken up these names, People's Anti-Fascist Front, like TRF had come up earlier,
Yeah, correct.
the Resistance Front, to fool the Financial Action Task Force. That's the basic motive of these groups. And Zaka, I'm sure government is will be looking at many options. It will share these inputs with Pakistan, will tell them,
Yeah.
and it will also wait initially for cooperation from their side so that they help us in nabbing these people. Or, but if we get definite inputs about a base which is close to LOC from where they are being launched, then don't get surprised if there is a localized action on that.
Okay,
It
don't
can
be
well
surprised
take
if there
place.
is localized action. But let me also get in, General Soy. One aspect is, and the government of India has been stressing this since 5th of August 2019, since Article 370 was abrogated, the number of terrorist incidents has consistently come down in the Kashmir Valley. In fact, in 2018, the calendar year of 2018, just before Article 370 was abrogated, there were over 200 terrorist incidents. In that year, 2019, it came down to 135, then 140, 153, 151. And this year in 2023, so far, in the first 3 months, only 11 incidents have been reported so far. Is this attack, today's attack, also an attempt by the terrorists to blow holes in that narrative that normalcy is returning to Kashmir?
Yes, Zaka, absolutely right. Absolutely, you are bang on target because gradually, after Article 370 has been removed, the level of violence, the stone throwing is almost nil, and the number of terrorist incidents, loss of lives have reduced considerably. The number of tourists who are visiting the Kashmir is absolutely record numbers have gone. All the hotels are full, all the resorts are full. So normalcy is returning, which probably is not palatable to Pakistan, which is not palatable to the people who are against the peace or against the normalcy in the Kashmir. So this is, and now in the May, the G20 summit is there, which was again a major message to the world that we are normal, absolute things are normal, and which is a fact. So this incident, though will try to derail or maybe to try and set the narrative. However, I feel that this kind of thing, the sole incident or isolated incident cannot change the overall scenario, overall peace efforts by the government of India and the people of Kashmir, who are also now got used to the living a normal life. They start going to office, they start working, they're seeing the educational institute opening, the children studying, they're going to places all over India, and people from all over India and globe are visiting there. So they are also used to it. Probably that is not getting palatable to the Pakistan, which is very unfortunate, who themselves are facing the biggest problem, whether it is financial or a political crisis.
So let me ask General Sinha, on the Pakistan question, we know two things. One, today the Pakistan government announced that their Foreign Minister Bilawal Bhutto will be traveling to India for the SCO Foreign Ministers meeting next month. Also, this PAFF or earlier TRF, are these just simply offshoots and different variations of either Lashkar-e-Taiba or the Jaish-e-Mohammed? Because ultimately, yes, as long as Pakistan was in the grey list of the FATF, they had to sort of rein in the workings of these groups. But now, these offshoots or organizations have cropped up with a new name. only to circumvent the FATF action in the ambit of the FATF. Ultimately, the Pakistani deep state is still promoting these terror groups to cross over and attack India.
Good evening, Jaka and Jai Hind. First, my condolence to those 5 brave hearts who have lost their life and one who is surviving and fighting it out. Now, your 2 questions. You have asked 2 things. One thing that Bilawal Bhutto is going to come for the SCO meeting. And second thing you asked about those Tanjeems which has taken a different form and names. First thing, I will touch, which is the larger aspect of the timings and these meetings, basically the SCO meeting and related to Pakistan. What happened? Pakistan is playing the double game, which we have not we have not slightly not trying to understand this. If we are understanding it, we are just pressing it to that everything is going to be we'll able to pass through the time sets or the meetings which we have planned in these areas. First thing, we have to understand that when we have chosen a venue of G20 in Jammu and Kashmir,
yeah,
it is the two people who have got, one is China, we are living in China, and second is Pakistan. It is a direct linkages. If this goes through, incident free, the thing is altogether a different messaging, which have got a strategic, implications, and it has got not only within the region, but all over the world.
Incidentally, both these countries, General Sinha, just a moment, both these countries had opposed to the G20 meeting happening in Srinagar, and the government of India went ahead despite whatever opposition these 2 countries had put up. Anyway, go on, yeah.
Yeah, and that's why this game is being played. I will just take you back because the SCO you talked about, and this SCO meeting is first, which is going on. If you take your mind back, few days back, we had, we have seen the changing of name of the 15 places in Arunachal Pradesh.
Yeah.
When we had an official meeting of SCO in Arunachal Pradesh, China that day only, they were absentees on these and they changed the name. So at that time also, when I take my mind and try it out, they did it intentionally because they wanted to give a message that Arunachal Pradesh, what they reclaimed to 90,000 square kilometer in that area, which they are doing it in number of fronts.
Okay.
Whether it is border villages. Well, now the China angle is here also. China and Pakistan is not playing this game alone. China is playing along with them in a big way. And that's why your question is very relevant when you are asking about these TRF and PFF. They are not the offshoots. They are the same thing. Whether it is the name can change, we can do it and we can debate here on the TV. But a matter of the fact that when it comes down to the ground, it is the same. Only thing is, it is now being funded. It is now being armed because today's in this incident, mind you, there is 7.62 bullet, which are the steel core bullets, which has been now recovered from the site. It has happened to the site, Bimbar Gali, 2 kilometers this side. And anyone who knows in this Krishna Ghati area, whether the Surankot area and where it has happened, this is the evidence, and you brought it out, that it has happened from 3 sides. It is absolutely planned, and few days back, when the chief of Pakistan Army visited in the forward area, there was something was raised. And one statement today, which has come by the Ministry of Defense of Pakistan, giving to because related to the election which has to be held in, and they have brought that raw will do it. How the raw has come in there, and that same announcement is coming. Then Bilawal Bhutto is going to come and attend the SCO.
Okay.
Had a question mark.
Okay.
So, one second, I will take it. Just put the perspective and your questions. See, we have to understand, Rajaka. It has got a bigger application rather than, by just focusing what happened in the incident. That, lot of things where the SOPs and the protocols has been, because single vehicle moving without road opening at one particular time, army didn't come to know because there were no reactions on ground. That can be taken care of.
Okay. So, Vaid-Saab, I just want to, one question that begs to be asked, and I asked this to one of our reporters as well at the top of the show. Particularly after Pulwama, the SOP for movement of trucks, movement of convoys was revised, was enhanced. I believe one of the standard operating procedures was that no truck will travel individually. In this case, we are given to understand that perhaps because it was a short distance, this truck was traveling alone, and the 5 Jawans who were traveling in it have been killed, and one other person who's the only other eyewitness, he is now struggling for his life. Do you think that lessons have still not been learned?
Zaka, I tend to agree with you. I'm sorry, I have the SOP is definitely not followed. It may be a short distance, but while traveling in such area, I think the proper SOP should have been followed, particularly after what happened in October 2021 and then attack in Rajouri, both the groups having not been apprehended or neutralized. So seeing the concerted effort from across to disturb Jammu region increasingly after suffering setback in Kashmir Valley, I think we have to be very, very careful, and SOP has to be followed very strictly. I think there is something amiss here. That's why we have suffered. Otherwise, there would have been a retaliation had SOP been followed.
Okay.
I recall 1990 when I was young ASP in Badgam. That time also the first attack, major attack in Badgam district happened on Gulmarg Road, and I still recall that scene when a milk army vehicle who used to ferry milk from Srinagar to Gulmarg was only with 3 people, driver, one LMG man, and another person with one carbine, and all
All
3
right.
are killed. And we are still, after so many years, again doing the same thing.
Yeah,
Very
so the lessons need to be learned, and particularly after what we saw in Pulwama and like what Mr. Ved referred to about what happened in October 2021. We'll leave it at that for the moment. We'll see how this story progresses. The immediate priority, of course, would be to hunt down those who carried this out. And as Arunima was reporting a short while back, if the attack happened from 3 different parts, then it means it was a big one. Multiple terrorists were involved in this, and so this search operation could take days, if not weeks.